I'm going to hope that my phone doesn't fall off my windscreen again, because that has been the saga of this morning. Hi everyone, my name is Charlie, and a fortnight ago I said I was making a possible return to BookTube, and then I promptly decided to fall ill. Technically, I was already ill when I was speaking to you, but I thought that I had come out of the worst of this weird throat thing I had that felt as though there was some giant swelling trapped within my larynx. Sadly, that was not true. And that was the Saturday. On the Sunday, I was still a bit throaty. On the Monday, I came into work. You still have the pain there, but otherwise, fine, not contagious. At least, I hope I wasn't. I don't believe that I am or was contagious. Then I got to the Tuesday. This is a good story. It's the reason I'm going through this story of being sick is because I woke on the Tuesday morning having had barely any sleep from this sore throat, as though someone was slowly trying to chainsaw their way throughout my esophagus. And I was going to meet a friend of mine. I was going to her house, and I didn't want to cancel because we haven't seen each other in a few months, and so I thought, you know what, just soldier up. You'll be okay for the day, the few hours you're going to be there. And so I bundled myself up and I set off on the half-hour walk there. And would you believe it? They were ill as well. And I thought, well, actually, this is probably a sign from some sort of ecclesiastical being that you shouldn't be here, Charlie. And so I went for a walk along the canal whilst listening to Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And then I arrived home an hour later. And quite honestly, it does take it out of you being ill. And so, over the next few days, I lost my voice. Well, I'd kind of lost it then, but it properly went. But I cancelled obligations, to the writers group because my mother was having some surgery anyway, so I wanted to be at home. Probably shouldn't have been because, I didn't know if I was infectious at this point. And then came into work on the Friday thinking, you know what, you can work without a voice. I mean, this is avoiding the fact that whatever was wrong with me is wrong with me, was severely affecting my chest. I was completely without any energy, which isn't really that surprising, but when Charlie's not chatting, then, well, it's really just not a fun time. And so I got sent home 2 days in a row. Can you believe it? 2 days in a row. I said, I think they ate me. But slowly, I was beginning to admit that maybe there was something wrong with me that couldn't perhaps be cured with my blend of ice cream, and hot tea. I drank a lot of tea last week, well, it's all herbal, isn't it? But you know what I mean, like your herbally loose leaf ones and just your normal PG tips. I got through quite a fair bit of tea last week. Got through a fair few books as well. I think we read 10 books in total whilst I was ill. I mean, naturally these are audio books, poetry collections, novels, thrillers, all that sort of stuff, the very fast, quick reads, which did get me questioning about what worth I place on literature, which is hopefully a video I will record at some point. Also, how are we liking this lighting? I came into work the day after I record. Well, one day I came into work, and it was the first day I came into work, the sun was out, and I was going to record for you because the sun was out, but I got no voice. Anyway, I finally got in to see a doctor this Wednesday who looked at all the weird pussy things. No, yeah, we're going to have to call them that. They were pus-filled things on the back of my throat. There was something else there. It was all red. My breath had a problem. There's something wrong with my chest. So it's very, very possible there is probably, maybe some sort of infection there that means I'm on antibiotics. And do you want to know something? I didn't think antibiotics were this bad. People have had them before. It's not, I didn't think it was that really big thing. But Lord, I didn't have much energy before. I have barely any energy now. I mean, obviously I'm chatting to you. That's going to take a fair bit of it. But my God, if it doesn't just sap you of all your strength. I tell you, I have had insomnia for I don't know how long, since birth probably. I've never really liked sleeping. It's just not in my nature, apparently. I'm much more your nighttime worrier, the person who works at night. According to an article I saw on MSN.com this week, that means I'm more susceptible to depression. And honestly, living in my life, north of England, well, it's ever likely anyway. That's not me making a joke about depression, by the way. Honestly, weirdly, go back, look at the period of Unfathomable Sadness episodes and then come back and talk to me. What was my point? Anyway, insomnia, suffered with it. Take one of these antibiotics, that's it, I'm gone. Lord, I am sleeping, I am slumbering. I wake up, I'm like that tiger out of Aladdin. Oh, that was one of my favourite parts as a child. I still expect to go to the beach one day and this tiger just to rise out of the sand. Of course, I know from watching Aladdin that I'm not going to enter that cave and find all these jewels and a genie, because there is no way if I run that I'm escaping. I'm going to get buried under like 50 foot of sand. Kilos? No, kilos. Would 50 kilos of sand kill me? Probably. I don't know. There's that guy, isn't there, in The Mummy, ends up getting killed at the end of that. That's probably what would end up happening to me. That is not a nice way to go. Oof. There's buried alive, and then there's buried alive and eaten by scarabs, and I don't think either of them is particularly nice. Also, I am currently listening to... I'm not listening to anything. I'm listening to The Archers if I'm listening to anything on my phone. I'm not currently listening to an audiobook because, well, I think I've run out. I've only got A Court of Thorns and Roses on my phone that I haven't listened to, and I have this strange relationship with Sarah J. Maas's writing, which goes back years ago when I was first seeing her querying agents. She hadn't even got the book accepted at this point. It was still called Queen of Glass, all that stuff. And I was really supportive of her career, all the people on Let the Words Flow, Susan Dennard as well. There's quite a few of them on there. And I read the first 2 in that series. I think I had 4 at one time. But it's just not for me. And yet this one was supposed to be more adult, Beauty and the Beast. I looked forward to it when it was first announced. But there's still something that puts me off reading it. And then I look at like the finales of both the series and they seem quite similar, and I just don't know that it's worth it. And so I'm trying to catch up on The Archers because I'm a month behind, which I'm listening to them all on iPlayer, so I only have 30 days to get them all in. So I have a few days left before all the episodes disappear. So we're block listening to The Archers at the moment whenever we're doing some writing or we're walking around the house. My phone also doesn't like charging anymore, which is great. So it's really... there's not much else I can do besides reading and listening to The Archers, because I don't know whether any of you know this about me. I do not have a life. I am probably the most boring person you would ever have the misfortune to meet. I was always informed that I was old-headed, but I did not believe that that would lead to me being 26 and just having nothing to show for it. I have also been working on a separate secret project alongside the children's book, and I don't even know that I'm going to do anything with the separate secret project. It's just to inform you that I have actually been doing some writing that isn't anything to do with anything that you wanted me to be writing. I am not actually sure when I will get chance to record again, and thus all I can say is that there may be some content related to books on this channel again in future. But if you are missing hearing me talking about books, I suggest going and watching any video from mid-2016 until the latter end of 2017, because most of them are filled with bookish content that people might actually enjoy. There's some from last year. If you really fancied it, I just go through and look at the myriad of bad haircuts that I have had over the last 3.5 years, and just see this face as it develops. Anything pre-August 2016, I do not recommend. I do not recommend it in the slightest. I think I was really finding me feet. Although there are some good writing updates in there. Anyway, what have you been up to? What are you reading? Are you writing anything at the moment? Please tell me about all your literary endeavours. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, that is all.